All right, just checking to make sure that you're able to hear me before I go ahead and get started. Perfect. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Melissa LaRosa, and I am the campus consultant for New York University. I apologize, I have a little bit of a cold, so if I'm hard to hear, just let me know by chatting in. It looks like Shilpa will be asking any questions that you all might have, so feel free to stop and interrupt at any time so that we can make sure to get those questions answered. I'm going to do a quick overview of OrgSync and some of the things that you're um, going to be able to utilize for your organizations at the Silver School. And I just wanted to make sure that you all knew exactly how to go ahead and get started and what you're seeing. So the first thing I'm going to cover is, if you can see my screen here, you'll see the New York University community. And this is going to be a similar type community for all students, regardless of what school or what organizations that they're a part of. Some basic things to note about this page is the logo in the top left corner is always going to be your home button. So if you ever get lost, unsure of where you are in the system, you can always feel free to click on that button. It'll bring you back to this home page to remind yourself of where you need to be. The second feature in the toolbar across the top is the ability to search for anything. That's inclusive of clubs, forums, events, etc. So if there's something that you know is in OrgSync, you can always go through and search for anything in that area to find it. The other next thing that you all will see is My Memberships, and this is going to show you the top 4 organizations that you're a part of or portals that you're a part of in OrgSync. Some of you may have been added or have already been in another organization across campus, so you'll see all of those regardless of what school that you're a part of. Additionally, this is also going to be inclusive of all of the organizations that you participate in at Silver, and you'll be able to quickly jump into those portals by just clicking on any of the names here. So that would be the quickest and easiest way to get to your memberships to do any of the work that you'll need to do within your organizations. Additionally, across the top, you'll have what we call a user drawer. That user drawer is going to be personalized to you as an individual. So that's where you'll be able to find your personal calendar, your profile, where you can update information about yourself as a user, inbox if you ever receive messages or notifications, activities, which will be very important for you once you start filling out forms or creating event requests or things of that nature, so you can see the status of those. Additionally, you can also go back to something that you've previously started and continue to work on it before submitting. You'll also have your own personal calendar. That calendar is going to aggregate all of the events for all the portals that you're a part of. So you could just quickly access that calendar. One thing I would like to show you about the calendar is once you see all of your different events that are coming up, you'll see the various portals that you're a part of down the side. So in my demo community, I'm a part of a lot of different organizations, and all that information is showing up in my calendar. But one great thing is that you could subscribe to your whole calendar. So if you'd like to go ahead and have that placed on the other calendar that you use on a regular basis, such as Outlook or Google, you can do so. If you're not interested in all of your organization's events, you can individually review each event and add it to your iCal, Outlook, or Google Calendar as an individual RSVP'd event or event that you're participating in. So that's one thing that I just wanted to make sure you were aware of. Additionally, on here, on our community home, you have some featured portals. What you're seeing might be very different than what I see, so I just want to make sure that you're aware of that. I'm seeing stuff because I'm not a member of the community, so you might be seeing very different things based on the memberships that you have, as well as various classifications that you're a part of. So you have some featured portals, you'll have some bookmarks over here on the left, you'll have the next 5 upcoming events that are relevant to the community. Across the top, you might see some different promotions as well as information in the newsfeed. So the newsfeed is similar to a Facebook feed where, depending upon the portals that you're a part of, that's the information that you'll see here in the center. A couple more items. One is home. So in addition to the logo at the top, you also have the home button here. You have the community calendar. So this would show you everything that's going on at NYU at the community level. If you're interested in just seeing what's happening in some specific portals, you can just look at those as well. Browse organizations. So for those of you who may not be a part of an organization at this time, you can always quickly see all the organizations that are happening on campus. You can search by name or by keyword, so if you're interested in something specific. Additionally, you can search for all of the Silver School social work organizations by looking at the umbrella here and browsing through all the various portals that are available and the clubs that have been created thus far. You'll notice that some of these portals already have beautiful photos and images for those portals, and we'll talk very quickly about how you can do that. Additionally, you can always just click on the name of the portal. You will see up here under settings the opportunity to join an organization. So that's how you can go ahead and start joining the clubs that you're a part of already or clubs that you're interested in moving forward. And lastly, one thing that's available or will be available soon to the entire NYU community are opportunities to volunteer. And you'll be able to access those various service opportunities from this button here. So one other thing that I'd like to jump into before we look at a portal and how you can update that information is you'll have the Silver School of Social Work, the portal at the umbrella level. So the office, the Student Affairs office there. Any information that you might need, you can always come here to access it. For example, you might be looking for a file or maybe a form. At this time, there aren't any. Additionally, you will be able to find a lot of this information in your own organization portal. So just this is just something else that you can access to come get more information about things that are going on within the school. So before I jump into a portal and talk about some of the key things as portal admins, what you will need to do, does anybody have any questions? Perfect. All right, so I'm going to jump into my demo community and I'm going to use Student Government Association as my portal. So this is what you would see as a fully fleshed out portal, all up to date. Information is all readily accessible and inputted into the system. So this is the goal, the end goal for all of your organizations, essentially, is to have a really robust portal with a lot of information. So to get this set up, a couple things that we just want to touch base on. You'll have some tools across the top and under more. There are a ton of tools in the system. I'm not going to cover all of them in this brief time that we have together, but definitely feel free to get in there and play around and find out what's going on and what your capabilities are within the system. Over here on the left side of the page, we have a profile and a feed. So you can go ahead and create a welcome message and some profile information, which is going to be one of the key pieces for getting Orgsync up and running for your organization. Additionally, on the right side, we have what we call smart panels. So those smart panels would be the top 5 tools that are used most often within your portal. So if you have forums or you have events and people are accessing those most commonly, you will be able to see those at any time. And you'll be able to see those based on that usage. So for student government, forums, posts, photos, and polls are used most frequently. That is why we are seeing them here on our right side. To get your portal page set up, this is going to be the key thing to get started, is if you're a portal admin, so only administrators of the different portals will have access to settings and organization settings. Here under organization settings, that will bring you to basically a setup page that you can go ahead and get started. So one of the things that you'll see is your organization profile, and it'll allow you to start editing that content. That, I believe, for the office will be asking you information about your club, getting you up to date and set up for this new academic year, and making sure that they have all the information that they need regarding your officers, your constitution, etc. So that's going to be the number one thing you'll want to do, is go ahead and update that profile information. You can see here I have some basic profile information on student government. One thing that I do want to highlight is keywords. When you get to that area, All the keywords are going to be searchable in that browse organizations. So you'll want to think of anything that's relevant to your organization and add it to keywords so people can quickly and easily find you. Additionally, you have that uploaded picture. So for those of you who are managing organizations that did not have a profile picture, this is where you can go ahead and update that information. I would highly recommend it, as it just adds a little bit of pizzazz, I guess, to your profile and to your portal, and making sure that other students know that you are an active organization and it is a place that they can find out more information about who you are and what you do. Beyond the profile, you have a cover photo. So you can see here we have a gavel at the top. You can go ahead and update your cover photo for your organization here. You'll notice that there's recommended sizes based on pixels, so you can easily change the image that you're seeing in this top toolbar. I mentioned welcome message. The welcome message, this will allow you with a rich text editor to go ahead and add information about your organization. So for student government, we have a quick mission and history in here. You can also show the welcome message by default rather than having the feed showing. That will just be a more static view of what's going on in the organization and some more information that new students or your current members can find out about the organization and who you are and what you do. Additionally, you can have a custom footer. That custom footer would be just a slogan that would show up at the bottom of all of your portal pages. You can link any social media accounts that your organization has. You'll see the buttons up here at the top. So if you already have a Facebook or a Twitter account that you're using for your club, you can very easily add that here to the top of your portal page so that students can have seamless access to all of those different areas and get the information that they need. Last thing that I'm going to talk about on this page is join options. This will allow you to configure a default group, and determine how people can join your portal. So for many of you, you might be open sign up, meaning anybody at NYU could have access to joining your organization. You might be invite only, where you only are inviting certain people that you know should be part of this particular portal. Or it might be restricted membership. So for those of you who are only restricted to Silver School social work students, you might need them to give you a reason as to why they're interested in joining your portal, and then you can determine yes or no and allow them to join at that time. Depending on how you have these join options configured, that's where they will be placed within that default group. So I'm going to go ahead and jump over into people to talk about how you set those default groups up. Under people, this is going to be your people management tool. You will see all the members of your organization here. So this is essentially how you're managing your active rosters. I can see that in student government, I have 324 students or users or members. And if I click on all people, that will show me all the different groups of people that I have within my portal. So if you would like to create additional groups, you could just find that green action button, type in a new group name, and then hit enter. At that time, you can go ahead and create as many different groups as you'd like, and you can move people around into those various groups. So for example, our interested group, that might be where I put my potential new members. I can see that there are 18 people in my interested group, and I can find out more about them. I can send a message to the group. I can add more people to the group. Or maybe Nate Adams was an interested member, and now I'm going to go ahead and move him. He's moved into the members group. So you can very easily move people within the portal by just clicking on their name and then manage. With that said, back here, we can see admins. So we have 45 administrators of this portal. Those are going to be people with access to do everything and anything within a portal. So you want to be careful about the number of people that you give administrative access to. It might be a president and a treasurer. It might be all officers in that particular organization. Essentially, you all can determine how you would like your portal to be managed at any point. So with that said, any administrator can go ahead and change the status of different people. And if you are supposed to have administrative access and you're not able to see settings, organization settings, then you'll want to have somebody that is an admin of your portal go ahead and give you that access, or you'll want to work with Shilpa to go ahead and get access initially if you're the main person that should have that capability. The other thing I'd like to point out is based on the different people groups, you can have different types of permissions. So Alex Weaver has all access to everything because he is an administrator. But I might want to change what types of group permissions are available. So back under organization settings, the third tab is permissions, and this will allow me to find a particular tool. So we'll take a look at photos and videos, determine if I want it turned on or turned off. So by toggling this on and off, and then I can choose what the default is for everybody versus what types of capabilities the different committees or groups have. So my default is everybody can view photos and videos. However, my members can add photos and videos, and I can go in and make changes to any of these. So if my event committee was going to manage, they can add access or have access to that as well. So that's the number one, or those are the few things that are most important to get your portal up and running, is getting that profile information in there, going to organization settings, adding some photos, setting up how you'd like members to join, and creating different people groups and giving them correct permissions. Any questions about any of that before I jump into probably 2 or 3 different tools so that you know some of the capabilities? Perfect. All right, so across the top, you will see some of the main tools that get used most often. So we have events, files, forms, and news. Under more, when you're looking at your own portal, you might see different tools here than what I see, and basically that just means that they're already turned off. So you'll want to go ahead, if you want to use something, go to those permissions and toggle it back on. For today, since we have such a short time together, the few things that I do want to discuss, the first one is events. So this is essentially your event management tool. This will allow you to go ahead and create different events within OrgSync so that you can promote them, whether it's to your members or to the whole school as it is. One thing to keep in mind, no matter what section of OrgSync that you're in, you'll just want to look for that green action item. The green action item is how you can create content in any of the various tools. So to create a new event in OrgSync, I'm just going to hit create event, and this will allow me to add the event name, the category description, the when, the where, put an image in for that event, choose my participation. And the main thing that I want to share with you about the event purpose is the visibility options and who can see this. You are going to see visibility options for every piece of content that you create in the system, and I just want to make sure you understand what those mean. So the first one is public plus website. Each one of your portals has a public-facing website capability that will pull content that you create and place it on that website without you having to write any code or essentially duplicate the work. So that's what you're seeing here. That means anybody, whether they have an OrgSync account or not, could access this event if they wanted to. Additionally, it would place it on that website. Here where it says State University, you all will see New York University, meaning that your event that you're hosting is open to anybody on campus. Specifically, you'll want to choose that option if you want to include it on the Silver School Social Work calendar. If you're sharing this to the whole school, you'll want to choose the New York University option and then submit the request for inclusion on the Silver School calendar to reach more people. The next option is student government. That's going to be the name of your portal, so it's only available for people that are a member of the portal. You don't want anybody else to have access to this particular event. And lastly, if it's something that's a little bit more internal even, maybe you have an exec board meeting that you want to put in OrgSync and populate your portal with, and you don't need everybody else to know about it, you can keep it internal to those various groups that you've created. A couple other things that you can do with events is you can have a pre-registration and a post-event form. A pre-registration form is essentially me RSVPing to attend your event, and maybe you're asking me for any food allergies or if I need a kosher meal or something along those lines. I have to submit that form prior to my RSVP being accepted. So it'll allow you to collect all that data in one place and have it at your fingertips when the event comes around. The post-event form is essentially the opposite. Once you've marked me as attended, that I've shown up for your event, maybe you want to find out how the planning was or if I got everything out of it that I was supposed to, and you might need to have a survey or an evaluation. You can always attach that to the event and it'll get sent to me once the event is over. So that's basic a create event. You may or may not have additional questions based on where you're creating that event and what the process looks like. So when you hit create event, there might be a secondary page that shows up, but this is going to be the hard-coded information for OrgSync. Once an event has been created, you'll see it here in a list. And I can see the Legislative Learning Day. I can take a look at the more information about that. And you have a couple of other options here. I have to fill out to receive to receive credit. I can RSVP for this event. As an admin, you're also able to invite people to the event. But one thing I want to highlight here is you have the ability to share a URL. So if you do create the event and you're using another tool besides